The sound of rain tapped on a broken windshield as the wind whistled through empty fields. The storm had followed them for miles. A single mother and her 3 children driving with everything they owned, packed in an old car that coughed more than it moved. When the road ended and the rain turned to snow, she saw it. A small wooden cabin half hidden behind trees, its windows fogged with time. "Kids, I think we'll stay here tonight," Sarah said softly. "Mom, are we allowed to?" Emily, her eldest, asked. Sarah smiled faintly. "Sweetheart, I don't think anyone's lived here in years. Just for tonight, okay?" They dragged their bags through the snow, their shoes soaked, their breath trembling. Inside, the cabin smelled of old wood and dust, but it was dry and that was enough. Morning came with sunlight breaking through cracked shutters. Sarah walked outside and took a deep breath. "This isn't much, but it's better than sleeping in the car," she whispered to herself. Days turned into weeks. They cleaned the place up. Emily learned to light a small fire. Ben, her 9-year-old, fixed the door with rusty nails he found. Little Lily, just 5, painted flowers on the wooden walls with leftover crayons. For the first time in months, they laughed again. But one night when the fire was dying and silence filled the air, they heard something. Thud, thud, thud. "Mom, did you hear that?" Ben whispered. Sarah's heart raced. She grabbed a flashlight. The noise came from the floorboards beneath the old rug. She knelt down, lifted it, and gasped. Beneath the rug was a wooden hatch, almost invisible, sealed with a rusty lock. "Mom, what's down there?" Emily asked. I don't know," Sarah replied. It took her 2 days to find a way to break the lock. When she finally pried it open, a cold draft escaped like the cabin exhaled for the first time in years. A narrow staircase led underground. They found a small room filled with cobwebs, and something else, an old wooden chest covered in dust. "Treasure, Mom. It's a treasure chest," Ben shouted excitedly. Sarah brushed her fingers over the lid. Her heart pounded as she lifted it open. Inside were stacks of old letters, a few gold coins, and a leather-bound journal. "Oh, it's just letters," Emily muttered, disappointed. But Sarah wasn't disappointed. Something about those letters felt sacred. That night, when the kids fell asleep, Sarah sat by the fire reading. The journal belonged to Eleanor Grace, a woman who had lived in that very cabin during the Great Depression. The first line read, "If you're reading this, then maybe you, like me, have lost everything, but let this place be your beginning, not your end." Sarah's tears fell on the pages. Another entry read, "I hid what little I had not for greed, but for hope. May whoever finds it use it to rebuild, not escape." At the bottom of the chest, wrapped in cloth, Sarah found a small metal box. Inside were old gold coins still shining through the dust and a deed. The cabin's ownership deed. It said, "To the finder, may this home bring warmth again." Sarah stared in disbelief. Days later, she drove to the nearest town to confirm the document's authenticity. The clerk looked at the yellowed paper, then at her. This deed is legitimate," he said. "It was never claimed. According to the law, it's yours now." Sarah was speechless. "Ours, you mean?" "This place is really ours," she whispered. The man smiled. "Ma'am, congratulations. Seems like you just inherited a piece of history." She drove back in silence, tears in her eyes. When she reached the cabin, the kids ran out worried. "Mom, what did they say?" Emily asked. Sarah knelt, hugging them all tightly. "They said, 'This is our home now,'" she whispered. Months passed. Sarah fixed the roof with help from locals. She started a small garden, then a tiny bakery using an old stove she restored. The story of the single mother who found hope in an abandoned cabin spread through the nearby towns. People came to buy her bread, to listen to her story, to help rebuild the cabin into a small community cafe. One day a man visited, an old historian. "Mrs. Collins, do you know who Eleanor Grace was?" he asked. "I only read her journal." "She seemed kind," Sarah said. The man smiled. "She was a teacher. During hard times, she fed children here. She always said, 'If ever I can't give in life, I'll give in legacy.' Looks like she did." That night, Sarah read the final page of the journal aloud to her children. "Home isn't the walls that shelter you. It's the love that fills the space between them. If this place holds laughter again, then my heart will rest." Sarah closed the book, looked around, at the firelight, the laughter of her children, the smell of warm bread. and smiled. "Thank you, Eleanor. We'll keep your promise," she said softly. Snow fell gently outside. Smoke rose from the chimney, and a carved sign on the cabin's door read, "Grace Cottage, where hope lives again." Moral: sometimes life takes everything from you, so it can give you something real. Hope isn't found, it's built, one act of courage at a time.